Hello folks, so I've recently been asked by a viewer to do a comparison of car finance on a Golf R. So we're looking at PCP versus a couple of different options on a lease, and we're going to try and work out which one of those is best for you at the moment. Let's take a look. Just before we get started, I'm really sorry that I look even more horrendous and unattractive than usual and sound pretty rough. I'm one of the couple 100,000 people a day that's got the lurgy at the moment, and I'm like 3 days in, and I can tell you it sucks. But I'm banging this video out for you anyway. There might not be too many this week, so enjoy. So a regular viewer of the channel asked me to take a look at finance options on this. Basically just said, is it best to do a PCP or a lease? It's a very difficult question that takes a bit of research. So I've done a bit of research and I'm doing a video. I'm not going to do these every time someone asks me, but I thought this was a good card to have a look at. So off we go. Let's have a look at the data first. So this is a screenshot here from VW Finance directly from their website. This is on their PCP deal, and it's deposit plus 35 monthly payments, 10,000 mile a year deal. Deposits £4,090. Bear in mind also that VW are contributing 950 towards it, so in theory your deposit's more like £5,000. It's £41,000 car. And your monthly payment's going to be £601, and you're going to pay that for 35 months. Then if you want to buy the car at the end of it, they're going to let you have it for 9,029, and then your 10 quid optional purchase fee, because that 10 quid's very important for them, isn't it? So there we go. That's the VW deal. Okay, so they've just dropped onto Lease Loco to have a look at this. Link to Lease Loco in the video description and pinned as a top comment as always. Let's have a look where it is at the moment. See, at the moment, this is the highest price it's been on a lease for a year at the moment. So this is not an amazing lease deal. Obviously, prices have gone up a lot lately, but it's not like this is a particularly cheap deal right now. So this is 1,400 up front and 443 a month. But if we try and get something a bit closer to the numbers on that PCP, we'll do a 9-month deposit. That gives us 3,500 up front. That one's the PCP's about 4,000 up front, and then 380 quid a month. Right, and then the other bit of data we're going to need is a good used value for that car at the end of 3 years when it's got 30,000 miles on it. Now, there are a ton of different options here. There are some cat cars that are obviously really cheap. There are some expensively priced ones. I think this one's about as close as we're going to get. It's 22 grand, but it's done 41,500 miles at 22 grand. I'm going to say it's worth 23, or shall we say 23 and a half? Let's say 23 and a half, all right? So one big caveat here is that used car prices are currently like the highest they've ever been. They've gone through the roof in the last couple of years, and we know the reasons. It's because of the shortage in new car supply, etc. Now, we don't know how long this is going to continue for, but at some time the bubble will burst. Now, what you need to be asking yourself, if you're getting into a PCP because the sums work out on final values and blah, blah, blah. Now, I personally think the bubble's going to burst sooner rather than later. I think it's going to happen in the next year, because I don't think the prices as they are can be sustained, particularly when other things start happening in the financial markets, which we should probably expect. I think the bubble's going to burst on used car prices in the next 12 months. Only a prediction, and it's only a hunch, you know, but you need to make your own decision on it. Okay, so what we just need to look at now to really finish it off and see which one makes the most sense, if there is a clear winner, is we look at that estimated future value, the final payment. So your final payment you're going to have to make is 19 grand if you want to keep the car, and then if you immediately sell it on, we're saying you're going to get 23 and a half for it. That's at prices as they are today. Obviously they could still go up again, but I really can't see that happening. But there's probably a higher chance that they're going to come down in the next 3 years. But let's say that happens. Today's prices, you're going to get 4.5 grand profit buying it and selling it instantly, basically at the end of your PCP. So then we take that profit and knock that off what the first 3 years has cost you, and you're left with £20,690. As you can see, that's still substantially higher than the lease from either of the lease options. So my advice to you would be, if you're considering a Golf R at the moment with prices and deals as they currently are, I think it's a much safer bet to lease the thing rather than have it on a PCP. Just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not authorised to sell car finance products or anything like that. If you want advice on your personal situation, you should speak to a finance professional. But hopefully this gives you a good idea of how to look at these things and how to just work out roughly what your position might be with each one. On the lease, you've got a known definite position, and on the PCP, this is your worst case scenario, and this is probably your best case scenario. If prices drop massively in future, the worst position you could possibly be in is that you hand the car back, you don't pay your final payment, and it's cost you 25 grand to have it for 3 years versus 17 grand that you could have paid on a lease. Best case scenario is that you make a few quid. If prices amazingly went up again, maybe you make more than that. Maybe you end up better off than on a lease. I personally cannot see that happening, not in a month of Sundays. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm going to go and start shaking again in my bed. And if you want to show your appreciation, you can go onto my website, notaguru.co.uk. There's a support page on there. You can buy me a coffee, you can use my Amazon link, all that kind of good stuff. Obviously, the best thing you could do right now is give this video a thumbs up and share and like on social media and all that kind of good stuff. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, give it some thought. Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully see you next time. Maybe go and check this one out next. Take care, guys.